Keep in mind whenever I'm making these videos, I am a brand new owner of this Catalina 310 and I've never had a big sailboat like this ever before. And when I'm articulating things, a lot of you old salty sailors, and I know that you're out here watching this video, you're gonna say to yourself, duh. But just keep in mind that I'm making this as a testament to my own journey on a big vessel like this. It's a beautiful day at the marina. We're gonna tackle every boater's worst nightmare, plumbing. The sinks are bone dry. The toilet is without water. And we're not gonna leave the boat until we get it fixed. Or at least come up with a solid solution and game plan for our problem.
I have a friend who always checks in, wondering how I've been. I have a friend who always shows up again and again and again. I know when I'm feeling low, I have a friend.
See how it just works for like a quick second? So something is like trying to work. It just ain't working properly. I'm here at our nav station. We're hooked up to shore power. I have both of our batteries on. And here on our circuit panel, I do have the freshwater pump is turned on. So it should be kicking on and powering up the water for the sink. The water is topped off, so that's clearly not the issue. We do have this Jabsco water strainer, and I think the next step of troubleshooting this is going to be to take this guy out and give him a good rinse. I mean, it's honestly as clean as a whistle. I mean, you don't get much more clean than that right there. We can safely say that after all that troubleshooting, we're gonna go ahead and replace the freshwater pump to our sink here. I should have that on arrival in a few days, and perhaps we'll make a separate video of the installation of that. So until then, no water in the galley, the head, or back on the swim platform. Drinking lots of fluids on the boat all day long leads us to our next problem, and that is our toilet is not working. Luckily for me, I found out that the toilet does not use fresh water, but instead it takes in raw water from outside the hull and sucks it in to the Jabsco head that I have. Then that's pumped into a black water holding tank. So it should be as simple as opening up the raw water head Seacock. I'm laying down in the aft cabin back here, quite a comfortable space on the 310. We are talking about Seacocks. We kind of going off on a tangent here. In order to get the toilet to work, we need to open up the head Seacock to allow the lake water to come in. The same thing is true for cooling down the universal diesel engine. We need to allow lake water to come in and cool the engine down. So there's another Seacock. That is basically an opening in the boat's hull that allows water to come in or out of the boat. You need to open and close them every time you leave the boat to prevent a necessary sinking of the boat. At least that's good seamanship. I'm not sure if it's really practical or necessary or if everybody does it. According to my research, it should be done every time that you leave the boat. I'm using the dry McLube sail coat. You can see that Catalina 310 did in fact use these name tags that helps us out with everything. I'm gonna open and close this lever. Open. It's parallel to the deck. Horizontal is closed, and it's actually labeled on here. nice and smooth. I'm gonna do this to all 5 Seacocks. I think that's best practices. Probably do it once a month, and especially whenever you first take over somebody else's boat, you just don't know when was the last time they did all that. We have the galley sink drain, and we have the shower and fridge sump outlet. And our last 3. We have the head sink drain, the ones that are going to allow us to use the marine head are going to be right down here. There are 2 of them here. The macerator discharge Seacock, that's going to be on the left hand side, and the head inlet. The macerator discharge Seacock is only whenever you're 3 miles offshore in the open ocean, so I will never use that, but it doesn't hurt to go ahead and still lube it up and still keep it moving around. But the one that's going to allow us to use the head is the head inlet hose. This Catalina 310 still has its stock Jabsco pump toilet. We'll see about upgrading that in the future, but for right now, all we have to do is turn this to allow water in, and then that's going to allow lake water in, as you see, filling up. And then once you do your business, we can go ahead and extract that water out of the toilet by flipping it to extract. I do see a little leak here actually already. We might have to replace this gasket on this hose here, and then this will just suck it all out. And there you go. I'll lock that. And we do have a fresh operating head. The next step is to get this black water tank pumped out. I don't know when was the last time the owners did that, how often it was used, etc. I also don't know all of the components of the head yet, so we'll have to master all of this. I'm sure there's some fantastic YouTube videos out there on this subject. Today we made some real progress on the 310. Seacocks checked, bathroom fixed, and a new pump on the way. Couldn't be happier to be figuring this out one step at a time. Thank you for being part of the journey.